morning, everybody. So, today we will be discussing sociology, and that is chapter number 8 in sociology, that is environment and society. And in the class, we had already started this chapter, we had already discussed, I think, a paragraph or so about this chapter, and we will continue further on. Generally the geographical condition surrounding us is known as environment, and it includes both animate and inanimate elements. The human society since the beginning is intimately related with the environment. So generally environment is made up of both living as well as non-living things, and since very old time our society has been connected with the environment that we are living in, right? Like we pray to sun, we pray to moon, we pray to trees, right? So all these things indicate that the Indian society from a very long time has been associated with the nature, it has been associated with the environment that is around us. Our strength and development, our institutions, our traditions, our socio-cultural life, etc. are all associated with the environment. As I told you, right, that the culture that we live in is all associated, is all connected with the environment that we are living in. Like in Hindus, we pray to trees, we pray to Tulsi. Okay, so all these things indicate that the Indian society has been very close to the nature. Even when we talk about Muslims, they pray to moon, right? And they break the fast of Roza after looking at the moon. Again, the indication that we are closely connected with nature. The Parsis who are there, they pray to fire. Okay, their god, they don't have any god, they pray to fire. So again, it indicates that Indian society since a very long time, since a very long period, has been closely associated, has been closely connected with the environment, has been closely associated with the nature. In the present chapter, we will study in detail the effects of environment on human life. So in this chapter, we'll be discussing how human life and how environment, both of these two things are connected with each other, and vice versa. Understanding the meaning of the environment. It is also important to obtain the knowledge about how the environment problems of pollution and global warming are affecting the social life. So in this chapter, we are going to talk about what is environment and how does different environmental problem like pollution, global warming, all these things are affecting, how are all these things affecting the human life. The aim, where did it go? Sorry. The aim of the present chapter is that we understand the environment and scientific perspective and its relation with human social life. So we try to understand this chapter from a scientific point of view and also try to understand how it has affected the society around us, how has the problem of pollution caused harm to us and the social life that we all are living in. We should learn about the environment related movements as well. So there were many movements that were led by many environmentalists to save the environment. Okay, like we had Narmada Bachao Andolan, we had Chipko movement. So these were different movements that were started by many different environmentalists to save the environment that was around us. So we will be studying few of those movements as well. It is necessary for the human society to learn about nature, trees, mountains, rivers, etc. Human society is required to take care of nature the way nature takes care of human society. This is an important issue related to the environment. Friends, let us try to understand the meaning of environment. So the human society we all are living in is closely associated with an environment. And environment affects us and we affect the environment that is around us. So it is very important for us to understand the meaning of what the word environment is. The term environment is derived from the French word environnement, which denotes the surrounding, that is the layer surrounding the earth. So the word environment is derived from a French word enoria, which means a layer or a surrounding on the top of the earth. This layer includes air, land, forests, mountains, rivers, ponds, ocean, wilds, and other animals, birds, humans, etc. So environment is just not made up of human beings, right? It includes water, ponds, lakes, trees, rivers, oceans, human beings, animals, birds. So earth is not only for human beings, but earth is for every other creature that is present on this globe. We have a well composed mechanism of these components is known as environment, meaning well functioning of all these elements is what we require for environment to keep on running. We have learnt about social mechanism in earlier chapter. Similarly, all components of nature are mutually linked, and therefore change in any component leads to change in the whole structure of the components. So what they are trying to say is that environment is made up of different components. Okay, environment is made up of air, land, water, all these components. So even change in any one thing will lead to change in other things. Okay, or will lead to change in the other components. The major responsibility of maintaining all these components rests with intellects. Intellects meaning people who are intelligent. So we all are intelligent people. That's what it says, that humans are the most intelligent animal. So the responsibility of making sure that all these components are running in proper order, that all these components are running in proper way, is the responsibility of human beings. The nature surrounding human beings are divided into two parts. The nature surrounding human beings is the environment. So whatever nature is surrounding us is the environment. Environment can be divided into two parts: biotic and abiotic environment, or biotic or abiotic elements. First is biotic. Biotic includes plants and trees, living creatures, that is animals, birds and human beings, and molds and insects. So biotic includes all your living things. It includes your plants, trees, animal, birds, insects, small molds. All these things are included in your biotic environment. What is biotic? Everything that is living and breathing. Even plants breathe. Okay. The interpretation of the word God is the environment parlance, is thus G the generator, that is plants and trees, which produces oxygen, leaves, grass, fruits, food, or on which the living creature sustain. O is the operator, that is the excreta etc. of the creature on which the molds and insects sustain. And D is the decomposer, molds and insects which make the land fertile on which the plants and trees sustain. Only through this kind of interdependence, natural equilibrium is maintained. So we say that the environment is created by God. G-O-D. Now what does G include? Generator. So plants, trees, what do? They generate oxygen and they take in carbon dioxide, right? That we know the science of it. So G is what? G is the generator, the things that generates, that gives life. So it's because of the trees, the plants that are there around us, that we are able to breathe in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Okay. So all of us sustain, meaning all of us live on the generator, that is the plants, trees, which produce oxygen. Next is O, the operator. Okay, operator. Now here operator includes excreta, that is the waste. Whatever, and waste meaning the body waste which we remove from our body. That, okay, that is called as excreta. Now insects and other small molds which are there, they eat that and they live on that. You know, I hope you realize that. Okay, the insects, small whatever those Kida Makoda are there, they eat that excreta and they survive on it. So that is the O, the operator. D is the decomposer. Now whatever plants, whatever leaves, whatever animals, they die, it is these insects, these molds which are there, that decomposes the animals, or the body of the animals, or leaves of the animals. They make the land fertile and on which the plants grow. So basically what they are trying to say is even the tiniest of tiny creature which is present is important in the environment that we all are living in. Even if it is a small insect, even that small insect is of great importance in the environment that we all are living in. So that is how the word God, that is God, has been created. G is the generator, O is the operator, and D is the decomposer. Okay, and how all these three are connected to each other. Okay, and how all of these three are dependent on each other. Abiotic. Now we will talk about the abiotic elements. This includes the 5 elements, basically the which are not living, which are not breathing. The 5 elements include fire, water, air, land and space. Now all these are non-living things. Fire is a non-living thing, water is a non-living thing. So abiotic includes your non-living thing, which includes your 5 elements, which you have, I think, done even in your philosophy. The 5 important elements: fire, water, air, land and space. Symmetry of Panchamabhutam is essential to sustain the ecosystem. Okay, Panchbhutam meaning this 5 elements are important for running and for survival of the environment. These 5 abiotic elements, that is fire, water, air, land and space, are independently related to biotic elements. Now these 5 elements, that is fire, water, land, air, space, they are connected to your biotic elements. For example, tree. Where does the tree grow? On land. What does the tree require? Water. Right? What does the tree require? Air to take in carbon dioxide and to release oxygen. Okay, fire, if there is fire in the forest, then the trees get destroyed. So that's one example which I had given. So that is how your biotic and abiotic elements are dependent on each other. Any disorder in any of these 5 elements will affect the ecosystem. If there is problem on these 5 elements, then your ecosystem will get affected. Therefore, natural equilibrium is very important for the continuation of the society. So what is important for continuation of the society? That balance is there in the environment. And how there can be balance in the environment? When all these 5 elements are in balance, when biotic and abiotic elements are in balance, then we can say that the environment is in balance and the human society is free to work. According to Hindu culture, human body is made up of this Panchbhutam. So according to Hindu culture, even our body is made up of these 5 elements. That's what the Hindu culture, that's what the Hindu scriptures describe, that our body is also made up of fire, land, air, water, space, the 5 elements. After defining environment on the basis of the above discussion, we can say that geographical conditions surrounding us is the environment. So after understanding the meaning of the environment, after understanding the type of the environment, we have got the proper understanding of what the environment consists and what is included in the environment around us. According to the Environmental Protection Act 1986, this is the definition of the environment. According to the Environment Protection Act 1986, environment includes water, air, land and interrelationship. So what does an environment include? It includes air, water, land and interrelationship. That means they both are connected to each other. It exists among and between water, air, land and human beings, other living creature, plants, microorganism and property. So there is a relationship between air, water, land, human beings, plants, animals, other living creatures, property, etc. On the basis of what environmentalists have said, environment can be defined as a condition that surrounds someone or something and which are linked to each other and affects human life. So on the basis of what environmentalists have said, environment is the surrounding that is around us and how different elements of the environment are connected to each other. Thus the environment can be termed as the cover of natural forces. Components of the environment. Now These are different components of the environment, which you have also done when you were in your younger classes. Lithosphere, atmosphere, I think you might have done it even in your environment, in your geography subject. Okay, so it's the same over here. There are mainly four components of the environment that are closely linked to each other: atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. First is atmosphere. Atmosphere creates a protecting shield surrounding the earth. So atmosphere is like a protecting shield around the earth, which includes air and its components. So what does atmosphere include? Air and different components or different parts of or the chemicals of the air. Sunlight, temperature, and humidity. So what does it include? It includes air, sunlight, temperature, and humidity. Humidity means the amount of moisture that is there in the air is called as the humidity. The atmosphere does not get hot equally by the sun, and therefore we find changes in the climate. So we know that the sun is not always hot. The climate keeps changing, and in places the temperature is different. Like the temperature of India is different compared to temperature of any other country. Okay. Therefore, we find changes in climate, temperature, and rainfall in different parts of the earth. Now, we also see difference in climate, we see difference in temperature, difference in rainfall in different parts of the earth. And that's because of sun. Atmosphere is a mechanism made up of complex and dynamic components, and any damage in it affects the whole system. So atmosphere is made up of many different components, it's made up of many different chemicals, and even change in one element can cause change in the whole atmosphere or can change the whole ecosystem or the environmental system. Next is the lithosphere. Lithosphere is the land. Okay. Lithosphere includes hard surface of the earth and shape and type of the land. So it includes the hard surface of the earth, it includes your land, and it's created by dissolution of rocks, meaning breaking of rocks is the hard surface on the earth is created. Lithosphere has mainly two components, carbonic and non-carbonic. So lithosphere has two components, carbonic components and non-carbonic components. When rock dissolves, they become soil on which humans can cultivate. Cultivable lithosphere contains 5% carbonic and 95% non-carbonic matter. So whenever your rocks break and they become a mixture because of different temperature, water, all that, then it becomes soil. Now this soil has 5% carbonic matter and 95% non-carbonic matter, and it is on this soil that human beings can cultivate and grow vegetations. Minerals in the soils are used in different industries as raw material. So many minerals are found from the soil. Okay, you do find many minerals like copper, iron, bronze. All these are different minerals that are found out from soil, which can be used by different industries for production of different materials. According to the arrangement of lithic particles, land types are formed. The upper layer of lithosphere is known as humus. Okay, the upper layer of the soil is known as humus. Humus contains soil and dead particles of leaves and animals. Lithosphere contains air and water according to geographical condition. So your lithosphere also keeps changing. Okay, you do find air and water according to geographical condition. Next is hydrosphere, that is your water. It is the sphere of water. Hydrosphere is spread on 3/4 part of the earth and includes ocean, gulf, rivers, ponds, streams, underground water, etc. So hydrosphere is your water. Okay, and it is spread to 3/4 of the earth is covered with hydrosphere. And water is in gulf, in ocean, in ponds, in rivers, in stream, underground water. About 97% of hydrosphere is in ocean. Okay, 97% water goes into ocean. That's why we only have very little fresh water available for us to drink. 2% is in ice cap. 2% is already in ice form, and 1% is in river, lakes, and in underground, on which ecosystem sustains, on which your ecosystem is running. Therefore, there has been intensive efforts to purify ocean water to sustain ecosystem. So that is why continuous efforts have been made to purify the ocean water so that you can use that water for running of the ecosystem. Biosphere. It is the thinner layer as compared to other layers of the earth where life is possible in the natural way. So biosphere is a very thin layer on the earth, and it is where the life is possible on earth. It includes air, water, rock, soil, and living organism. So it includes your air, water, land, everything on which the human beings live and survive. Not only human beings, the whole living things. From the lowest sea level to the highest point of atmosphere, this is the biotic cover of about 24 kilometers. So right from the ground to the air up is your biosphere. Okay, and it is spread to 24 kilometer. It is a large and dynamic habitat that includes all other small habitats such as nation, state, district, mountain, river, lakes, and all those habitats which are easily visible and identifiable. So it's a dynamic meaning it keeps changing, the habitat keeps changing. It includes your nation, states, districts. Okay, it includes your mountains, river, lakes, everything which you can see from your eye and identify it. In other words, biosphere provides uniqueness to any land or water body according to its stratum. So biosphere makes the water bodies and land bodies unique. So all these were your different spheres. Also mentioned 4 spheres of the environment are closely and mutually linked to in the cyclic form. So they all are connected to each other in the form of a cycle. So I will stop here for today. Please go through this, and whatever doubts you all have, feel free to ask.